welcome to Monday Momentum. This is our weekly 20-minute space where we can align ourselves with whatever it is that your vision is, move with intention, with clarity as you bulldoze through your week and then kind of your life, right? So today's session is going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but I think that's the point, right? We're going to talk about discomfort as a direction. So as think about your compass, and learning to lean into it. I want to be real with you because if I am not real with you, no one else will, right? So everyone wants to grow, but nobody wants the tension and the hardship that comes with that growth that they really, really want. We pray for purpose and we're like, Lord, give me clarity, give me purpose. But then we resist the pressure that shapes us to help us create that purpose, right? This is the truth. And I want someone to hear this really well today. Discomfort, being uncomfortable, it's not the enemy, right? It's often time, I think about it as an invitation to embark upon your full self, whatever that looks like. So today, we're going to be talking about how to reframe discomfort, to think about it more as a guide or a compass or something that leads us to where we're supposed to be going. I also want us to think a little bit and kind of understand the difference between the pain that like breaks you, but the pain that also builds you. What does that look like? Because both of them are going to be really uncomfortable. And then I want us to think about kind of some ways that we can lean into that discomfort instead of like backing out when things get really hard. So that's just, I want you to frame your mind into thinking who you are today. Are you running away from being uncomfortable? Are you running away from discomfort? Or are you leaning in and running towards it? It's not, when I think about discomfort, it's not something that we should run from. It's sometimes it should be like the clearest signal that you're in the right place, that you're doing the thing because you're uncomfortable. So this is something I want you to think about, right? Growth is very uncomfortable. Healing is uncomfortable. It's painful. Leadership is also uncomfortable, right? Love, forgiveness, setting boundaries, all of those things are uncomfortable. They're not easy, right? But at the same time, staying stuck, staying who you are is also uncomfortable, right? Because who wants to do that? And I also think like settling for something that you're capable of doing more is also uncomfortable. Again, you're called to do more, you're called to be better, but then you settle, right? That feels uncomfortable. Ignoring your full potential, all the things that you're supposed to be, the person you're supposed to be, the leader you're supposed to be, the woman who scales mountains. When you ignore that potential, it's also uncomfortable. It's actually really painful. So I almost want to ask you, what which discomfort are you okay with, right? You got to choose your discomfort, but don't let it choose you. So do you want to be uncomfortable with growth and healing and love and forgiveness? Do you want to be uncomfortable with that, or do you want to be uncomfortable with staying stuck, settling for less than your potential, ignoring what your true potential is? Figure out, because I will tell you this, right? The pain of stretching, that pain is temporary, right? It's a little bit, it's for a little bit, but then you see the growth. But the pain of staying small, that is permanent, because that's never going away, because you're never gonna grow, you're never going to get bigger if you continue to stay small. So that feels more permanent, that feels more detrimental, that feels more destructive than the temporary pain of getting stretched, of being the best version of yourself. So again, we're talking about leaning in, right? Think about today, maybe you deciding you're like, I'm going to stop avoiding the hard things and start leaning and start stretching into the next level of what I know that I'm really capable of. That's how I want you to think about, right? And then let's think through ways that you can, ways or like strategies that you can use to shift your relationship with discomfort. So instead of like trying to resist it, now you can like forge ahead and like lean in. I love that word, lean in, because you can use it. It means so much in different aspects of your life. But yes, I think we need to start thinking, how can I stop resisting this, and how can I lean in? So the first thing I would say to ask yourself is like, what is this discomfort trying to teach me? because you'll learn that being uncomfortable is not a threat, right? You should see it as a way to teach you to do something. So instead of reacting with fear, why don't you ask, respond with curiosity, right? Like ask, what is this trying to teach me? Is this discomfort, is it maybe revealing a new standard, like a new next level that I'm getting to? Is it showing me that I'm maybe, is it showing me things that I'm outgrowing, people, places, um, job, relationships, whatever it is? Am I outgrowing it? And remember, it's going to be painful, but it's the pain that doesn't last forever but makes you better, right? Is it, you can even ask yourself, like when you start thinking about what is it trying to teach me, is it challenging you to develop new skills, right? When you're uncomfortable with learning something new, is it going to make you better? Is it going to make you more like more profitable to the marketplace, right? That temporary discomfort of learning something new, could that make you better? This is how you have to start thinking about it. So stop running away from it, right? That discomfort can give you a lot of information, so figure out now how to start interpreting it. So this week I'm all about challenging my team. I'm all about challenging us in our community. But every time discomfort shows up, right, I want you to pause and maybe ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Like imagine if I like forged ahead and like started thinking about breaking barriers. What could that look like? So we talked about kind of what is it trying to teach me. I want you also to think about maybe you stop waiting it for it to feel easier, right? Maybe you stop, you just decide to do nothing, which never is the right answer in anything. But maybe you're like, if it'll pass if I just wait, because it'll feel easier. But I would challenge you that if you keep waiting for that fear, it's never going to go away, right? It's always going to remain there. But the next time that you approach something that's uncomfortable, think about who you're going to become on the other side of that win, right? Think about who you're going to become, the version of yourself when you how can I explain it? When you think about the version of yourself when you like forge through that resistance, right? That that you don't stay the same, even if it feels easier, but you forge ahead, right? Who do you become? What does that person look like? And every time that you lean into that discomfort, it almost feels like you're expanding who you are, because then you don't know what you're capable of until you face it head first. And then you see that, like, okay, you're like, I expanded my capacity, I was better, I can do more. And then you challenge yourself, right? I talk about this every day. Growth lives in the reps. So, in the showing up, in the doing it while it's hard, in the building the muscle, right? And the more reps you do, the more you grow, right? The more that muscle grows. For those of us who are trying to build some muscle, right? It's in the reps, and that's where growth happens. And that's the hardest part, but it is temporary. Discomfort is not a reason to pause, right? You got to keep going. You got to put in the reps. I feel like I need a shirt that says reps on it because of how much I believe in doing. And it's doing that thing over and over and over and over. And reps really just is consistency. That's really what it means. And so you have to start thinking about, like, what does this mean for me? How do I put in the reps, even when it's uncomfortable? So think about, yes, it's easier to stay the same, but like, who wants to do that, right? And I also want you to think about, building a life that can hold the weight of your calling. So you can't sit down, because this is delusional, right? You can't sit down and ask for a big purpose, like a really big purpose, but then you expect small resistance, right? If you're asking like, hey, I want to change the world, expect change the world resistance to come along with that, right? And then how do you, and you're going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be hard. How do you push through that? If the discomfort is big, right, it's probably because your assignment, your purpose is that much bigger. That's how you have to start thinking about. That's the mindset that you have to reframe, to understand that, right? So you don't just push through. Now you have to start thinking like, how do I build structures that stretch? Like, what does that mean? Whether it's support system, accountability, doing the work, whether it's just putting down simple routines in your life, right? Whether it's prayer, whatever it is that strengthens your base, go at it. Build that, build the foundation, build the base, because the growth doesn't only come from pushing harder, right? It comes from supporting yourself, like building a fort, building the foundation, and then using that to forge through. So this week, right, I want you to ask yourself, What structure do I need to help me to lean into the discomfort instead of avoiding it? We never want to be people that avoid hard decisions, hard things, um, because they don't go away, right? They don't disappear. They're gonna stay there until you come back and until you face it head first. They're not going anywhere. So just think about that, right? What do you need to help you lean into that discomfort, to lean into being uncomfortable? What does that look like? If you're avoiding it, then you've got to stop, right? So I always think about making things practical. How can we lean in, right? What are the things, easy things that you can do this week to kind of help you lean in? And I think that I want you to identify one area of your life that discomfort is showing up, and maybe you're trying to run away from it. So I would say maybe think about, what is that teaching me, right? Is it maybe you're afraid with having hard conversations, or you're afraid you're non-confrontational, but it's really costing you maybe a relationship, a job, or whatever it is, right? Ask yourself, like, what could that be teaching me? Like, imagine if I was a woman or man who stood up and who advocated for myself. Like, imagine who I would become in the process, right? So then do one small thing to help you lean into that on purpose. So whether it's like, okay, I'm going to have a hard conversation with a sibling or a coworker or my boss, whatever it is, right? I'm just using this as an example, but and then maybe you set up someone who can help you keep you accountable. So say, hey, I have to have this hard conversation. Just ask me by Wednesday, did you do it? Like, that's all I need. I need a text from you saying, did you do it? And that's kind of like what this could look like practically, what that discomfort looks like. It might even be not doing something that you know you're supposed to do, right? Like not creating the course, or not building the thought leadership platform, or not doing whatever it is that you know that you're supposed to do it, but you know it's going to be uncomfortable. You know it means putting yourself out there. You know it means the idea that you could fail, right? Lean into that. Imagine you do it and then you're successful. What could that look like? Imagine how that would stretch you. So then you can take on the next big challenge, because you're like, I did that. And that felt insurmountable. Imagine if I did that, I could do so much more. That's what this does to you. Again, it's building the reps, right? You do it, you do something small, you build, you get stronger, and you keep going at it. You might even want to write on your wall, right? Like, this doesn't feel good, but it is good for me. This does not feel good, but it is really, really good for me. Like, imagine if you wrote that and you looked at that every morning and you read that and you lived that, right? So I want to leave you with a final thought, right? And this is how I'm thinking about discomfort, and this is how I'm applying it to my own life. It's that it's not a sign that you're off course. That's not what discomfort is, right? Again, I said it before, it might be the clearest signal that you're right where you need to be. You're right where you're supposed to be. And the only thing that you need to do, yes, I'm saying it again, is to lean in, right? Breathe through it, work through it, grow because of it, right? Because you have no other option but to do just that. So I would say, I will leave you with this, right? Don't fight it, just follow it. Figure out what that could look like. Lean into it, learn from it, grow from it, build the reps from it, and then keep going. And I promise you, right? I don't make a lot of promises, but I promise you that if you do this, you'll become a version of yourself that you didn't even know existed or that could exist when you decide to do hard things, when you decide to push beyond that zone of comfort, right? When you scale that mountain, when you do that thing, when you have that conversation, when you dream that thing and you execute, right? It will be uncomfortable, it will be very hard, because our human nature, our normal is to be comfortable, is easy, is status quo. But imagine if you are the type of people, right, that step outside of your comfort zone, that push past the discomfort. Imagine that's the type of person that you are, and imagine what will come of it. I promise you, I'll say it again, right? Um, you will become a version of yourself that you will fall in love with, because you're doing the hard thing, because you're growing. So that's all I got today. And I hope that that was encouraging to you. I hope that it was enlightening. I hope that you do something with that today, right? That you go out and you push past your zone of comfort into that area of discomfort, because you know that it's making me better, it's making me stronger, it's making me, I'm going to grow from it. I'm building the reps. That's all I got. So I hope that was enlightening. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you take something from it, right? I don't want you to keep coming here every week and just like listen to me, right? Imagine if you start implementing just little by little. You start putting into practice what you're learning, how you're growing. You pick someone who can hold your hand as you navigate this one beautiful life that you have. Asking the right questions and being sincere about the answers really goes a long way. I agree, and not holding it loosely in your hands, and just knowing that like life is short. I can learn from this. I can grow from this. I think that's really important. You don't know what you're capable of until you face it. Very true. Like you have no idea how strong you are. You have no idea how capable you are until you do it and you're like, oh, this was a piece of cake. And then it's like, okay, I can do more, right? Building the reps every day. I said I'm gonna get a shirt that says "building the reps" or something about reps, but I think it's important. I think the more you do, again, the more you're capable of, the more you grow, the easier it becomes. Choose the uncomfortable and grow while at it. Yep. And it's easy to type it. It's difficult to do it. But if you do it, the results will be wonderful. Um, it'll be amazing. You'll grow from it. You'll become stronger. You'll become a person who others can look up to. And it's because you did the work, right? You did the hard work that came when nobody else was watching. And some of this you'll do in silence. You do in the quietness of the four walls of your office or your bedroom or whatever it is, right? And it's nobody's watching, but you're growing. That's what's important. Um, so yes, thank you for being here. I will see you again next Monday, where we'll talk about something amazing that will help us grow, that will help us develop into the person that we know we're supposed to be. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday.